Can we do Battledecks again after happy hour?
I think we should do Battledecks after happy hour. I think that makes a lot more sense, frankly. Well, first of all, anybody here want to participate? Because obviously if you don't participate, okay, Kim's going to participate, you want to participate, anybody else? You know, seriously, getting up in front of a group of your peers and making a fool of yourself, what could be more fun?
It's one of the
We'll
great
probably all
pleasures
warm
in
up to it a
life.
little bit.
All right, so we'll, what's your name?
Mark.
Okay, Mark and Kim will kind of kick things off and make you all feel a little ashamed for just sitting here watching them, because I think it's an opportunity to get up and play.
I have no shame.
No shame is a good place to start. So let me kind of explain what Battledecks is. Battledecks is basically extemporaneous presentation giving. There are PowerPoint slide decks that I have selected largely at random that you will present to the rest of your peers without ever having seen these slides before. So when I say go, you will turn around and see the slide for the first time and you will start your presentation. And we will go for 5 minutes per presentation, during which time you will do your damnedest to tap dance your way through this and look almost competent on the topic at hand. Chances are you won't do so well.
Do I get a clicker?
You're going to have a clicker and everything. So we'll
That's
do
the
that.
whole reason I'm here.
Just with the clicker? Well, you know, it's a simple thing, but sometimes those are the things that make the biggest difference. So what will happen then is the jury of your peers will get a chance to vote for who they think did the best job in the presentations, and I think that person gets lots of cool accolades and maybe some free beer over at the tent.
Wow.
By the way, give her a huge hand, because this is bravery at its finest. There's your microphone. Here's your clicker. So that's your advance, that's your go back.
Do I get bonus points if I do the whole thing like in prose?
If you could do that, iambic pentameter or anything that really impresses the judges, you're ready to go. Okay, I think this will advance when you go to the next thing, but Kim, you are ready to go, starting now.
Hello, everyone. My name is Kimberly. I come to you all the way from the lovely town of Boston, where I am an expert at how to name things. Now, it's been a long time since I've done a presentation on how to name things. I haven't pushed a button yet. It is advancing. So basically, you know, people have to name things all the time, right? You've got kids, pets, businesses, websites, right? And one of the greatest things about naming things in a digital format is that you can use these different characters and letters to make funny pictures. It doesn't just have to be about the way the name sounds when you speak it. It can be all about making a name that looks cool online. So you need a great name to sell your ideas, right? So for example, I named my kid Driana, but she didn't think that was a great name. So when she was like 6 weeks old, we started calling her Luba, and it's stuck ever since. I don't know why Luba is a great name, but it just rolls off the tongue, you know? You need a great name that says, you know, what your business is about, what you're about, what your website's about, and you can spend a lot of time thinking about names and getting nowhere, but we've got 10 free tools to help you out when you're coming up with your name. So there are several websites that can help you out. There are also great things like the Star Trek name generator, where you take, you know, the first letter of your first name and the last letter of your last name or something, and then you add some random syllables, and it comes up with a great Star Trek name for you. So all sorts of different ways. You know, my favorite is this this pun generator over here, because there's nothing better than a good pun. So these guys are creating a music streaming service, as you can see by what is written on the slide up here. And you can see that they're definitely looking for something that speaks to their image. So like, you know, rock band, Panther, or something. You know, rock band is already taken, by the way, but, you know, just as an example. So let's try to give them a name. Let's find words that, you know, that when you look at these guys, you think of these words, right? So you're going to create a word bubble with all the different terms that might be used, you know, like rock, or, paper, scissors, right? Anything that you can think of that you think might describe these guys. A thesaurus is also a great tool to use because you've got, rock in your head, but it could be stone or pebble, right? And that's a popular one these days. So I'm going to skip this slide because it's just a bunch of words, and you don't need to look at that crap. So Urban Dictionary is one that's a lot of fun to use because it allows random people out in the webverse to come up with definitions for common words and phrases. And, a lot of things are colloquialisms that change based on where you are. So on the one hand, you can pick out something that you feel really defines who you are, but on the other hand, you don't want to pick something that, in another part of the country means that you stink, right?
1 minute to go.
So, oh crap, I've got a lot of slides left to go. I'm going to skip past a lot of this stuff until I find something fun. So, got words, right? One thing that I find is really useful is playing Mad Libs, because then you can come up with like a key phrase, but then try and think of other nouns and adjectives that might, really fit into that. And sometimes you come up with crazy things. Your name doesn't have to say, I'm a rock band. It could be like, fried pickles, and everybody loves fried pickles, or maybe not. I'm not really sure, but it could be punny, or. So yeah, we especially like, so they're a cover band and they cover themselves with records. It's very punny. And then you can word merge helps you bring concepts together to create a new word that you can coin that's uniquely you. So I guess what I want to summarize is that when you're naming things, you should just name things and not spend a lot of time naming things. Any questions?
Glad it's not a 45.
Yeah.
All right, that Kim made that look pretty easy. Mark, what do you think?
It's gonna be tough.
Go on, brother, bring it down. If we taunt you, it's in pure love, okay?
How does this clicker?
So clicker, just push that one to advance to the next slide. Now, let me find a deck that might be suitable for you. So give me a second, please.
I was impressed that you spent no time reading it and you just knew it automatically. And then it was like you just saw it and really cool.
It's almost like I've done this before.
All right, Mark, you are ready to go. Here is your presentation.
Tell me when to start.
Okay, and go.
Hi, my name is Mark Anderson. I'm from Cala Community College in Battle Creek, Michigan, and today we are going to talk about how to make a hand-pieced hexagon pin cushion. Because I needed something to do with the wife. She is very good at knitting, and I'm very good at not knitting. And I was good at shapes, and since this is a math teacher, this might be somewhat in my wheelhouse here. The first thing you should do is start with something that is a hexagon. I mean, a hexagon does have 6 sides. You can count them up right there. And they give some, and there's really no way to screw up a triangle unless you make it look like a Dorito. So if it's an equilateral triangle like the one on the screen, you're going to put them together and they're going to make a hexagon. So no isosceles and no scalene triangles out there. Oh, I'm not talking to a math audience. Okay, so here we go. More hexagons and triangles for those of you in the room right here. If you're getting some flashbacks of Trivial Pursuit, I know you couldn't get that brown piece, and I'm really sorry, but just history's not your thing. All right, give it up. All right, now, the first thing you need to do is to cut up a pillow that you already have and steal some of the fluff out of it. Once you do that, then you can find some ugly pants that your mom and dad may have worn in the 70s, and you can just use those for scraps, because nothing says quilting like ugly patterns. So let's keep going and check. Step 2, read step 1. That's why my wife's helping me with this. But read step 2, I've got some easy templates. There's your triangle and your hexagon that you've cut out there, and there's some curtains that they're going to probably cut down and probably put into a new shape there. Well, it looks like that's it's one of the. That looks. I guess I'm kind of curious how they got squares to make that. I think they cheated. I really do. I think that they're definitely cheating on the left there, because I don't know how you assemble that. But again, just use your patterns and cut them around them, and make the missus happy. So the first step 4, obviously that's I think the blood was removed from this slide if this was mine, but no, it's actually my wife's thumb right there, and this is the first thing you need to do to pierce that and make that kind of work for you here. You can read the little parts right here. I just looked at her, and she really helped me out there in pinning this stuff together. And this is not a voodoo piece right here. This is just for all of us to kind of look inside and try to make this tie together. I really should have listened to her more. I mean, I got to be honest with you. I had music playing in the backgrounds. I was nodding. I was copying what she was doing. But this is the really tricky part right here. See this, the needle is actually going through and kind of like in and out and in and out. It's a snake kind of through the pattern right there. The pencil line, you just make sure you draw those before you start right there, because you don't want to get hurt too much. And how many people in here have done origami before? You've done origami right there? Awesome. That won't help you here, because here, you got to go behind the needle. Got to go behind the needle, and it's going to come up in front of it. And let's see here. This is it. Whoops, I missed that step right there. And that's how it should look. If you have to run to the bathroom and take that and just sew it on a machine and bring it back, look what I did. She'll wonder why you did that in the bathroom. May want you to throw it away, but this is the proper stitch. Just very, very small stitches. Oh, and again, this is the person who didn't cheat. They putting the triangles together. I better hurry this up here. And now, if you've ever made a soccer ball before, then we treated you horribly in a South American country. But this is what they would do. They would make it inside out, and then they turn it up, all the way inside. And if you didn't have like paralysis by your 18th birthday, that would be the inside of it, because they won't see the seams on the inside there. Step 11 is, if you couldn't figure that out, you just put them together. Let's see here. Step 12, obviously, just repeat. So, and I think. I don't know what happened there. I'm sorry. I don't know, the slide just got in there, but it's getting worse. But it's just, you really should try to get everything together, because what's going to happen is you're going to have to sandwich these. It's going to look like 2 Trivial Pursuit hexagons put on top of each other, and then you take your stolen stuffing. There we go. Probably, oh, this is on the right side. Well, I thought it was the wrong side. And then somewhere on, stuff, there we go. That's what I'm talking. You just put the stuffing in there, and any dirt or like chips and like stuff that you have lying around, no one's going to find them. It's just going to be in there. It can be like maybe your cat will find them later. But and then poke it to make sure that it's soft. That's important. And you can put a button on, but again, I don't know. Use Velcro. Really, just a little bit of Velcro. Put the button on there. That'll be just fine. And then you're done. Well, you'll want to remove those pins. I don't think that's really good. So. Thank you very much.
All right. Go on. Who's going to man up? I want to see some bravery here. Come on. You want to do a duo? Yeah. Come on, we'll do a duo. See, this is courage, folks. This is what courage is.
Hand holding.
Okay. So, here's my phone. Here's the clicker. You want to be clicker keeper? Okay, so that'll advance to the next slide. Speaking of which, let me figure out a presentation that you guys can really go to town on. All right, ladies, take it away.
Hi, my name is Mary, and I'm a 4th grade teacher in East Lansing, live in DeWitt. This is my friend Erin.
Hi, my name's Erin Klein. I teach 2nd grade in the Bloomfield Hills, Michigan area. And then I have 2 kids of my own, Riley and Jacob. They're both elementary aged as well. So Mary and I are excited to present this to you today. I'm going to let her kick it off, and I know she's got a ton of fabulous information to share with you.
I love gardening. Love it. I honestly don't know that much about it, but I do have passion for it, and that's why we're here today.
Yeah, Mary and I like to talk about passion-based learning in our classrooms and really just getting the kids involved. I'm actually very passionate about gardening, and I'm not that skilled in it, but it's just a ton of fun. So we think that by overcoming our fears, and since we're not experts in gardening, and getting our kids kind of used to embracing what they're not used to doing, and just kind of exploring it kind of puts us in a more human element, and our kids just really relate to it. So it's working great so far.
And who doesn't like colorful vegetables? So, you're probably wondering the 5 W's and the H about gardening. So am I. So we're going to talk about that as we go through, and this man is also wondering just as much as the rest of us. So, this is Mel, and Aaron's going to tell you a little bit about Mel, the gardener.
Yeah, Mel's actually someone who came in contact with our PLN on Twitter. He's absolutely fabulous. So we've learned a lot from his blog. He has weekly tips that will help you. And he's been a really good connection for us. So we've kind of been following his trends and seeing what works for him. So we've done a couple Google Hangouts as well.
Exactly. Not in this backyard, though. This backyard could use a garden. I think we would all agree on that. And I hope that the next picture shows a garden.
Ta-da!
Yeah. Yeah.
So we're going to
That's a good
kind
garden.
of start flying through some of the slides because we have 41 to share with you today. And we kind of want to get through it, so we're going to speed this up a bit. But we want to share with you just some tips and tricks that have really worked for us. And the students actually came. We did like a virtual field trip with Google Glass. And they came with us to document the process of some of the picture taking. And we kind of took turns with special person of the day, and they got to come to our houses. We went to like some local apartment complexes where some of the older people live, and they're really fabulous mentors in their own gardens. So the kids learned a lot. So we're going to speed through and show you some of those.
The kids love spray bottles, too. Just that the Google Glass was cool, yes, but kids are really into spray bottles. So your garden can be any size you want it. You can have wood around it or not. It's really up to you.
So, and here's one even on a patio. So it's not necessarily on the wood, but it's in a patio setting, which works great, especially if you're in small spaces, a fan of IKEA type furniture.
Yeah. Gardeners really like the wood around the gardens. We're going to show you a lot of pictures of gardens in wood, and then we'll move on to the next.
And even in
part.
desert areas like Iraq. So some of the some of the
I see
places that you wouldn't think.
pictures.
So.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we definitely have your attention, right? So we're going to talk about location. So
Right.
Mary, why don't you take it away?
So honestly, look at this picture. That picture. There we go. No, the one a few back. That picture. Is it a good idea to have a garden in front of your house? How many of you think it's a good idea to have a garden in front of your house?
Show me thumbs up, yes, thumbs down, no.
Okay. All right. The answer is no. It's not. Look at that picture. That house looks overgrown, and it looks like there might be a ghost there.
I agree. So layout is important, but I'm going to go ahead to the next one because this is one of Mary's favorite topics is boxes. That's what she
I'm
said.
still in middle school, sorry. As much as we were talking about wood before, let's get serious. You can put stones around your garden and box it in. There are many different types of boxes, and
Yes, there are big ones and small ones.
Yes. So let's see those. There's a big box. There's a small box on the right. And then
what is the heading for that, Mary?
6 inches.
Sorry. It is important, though, to get back to a serious note. It is really, really important to make sure that you do keep the critters out, the bugs, because that could be a problem, especially if you're going
Critters
to eat your
in your box are a problem. Oh my gosh. A whole nother minute?
Skip the aisles.
Okay. Aisles are boring. We're going to skip that.
Many different types.
All right. Soil. How many of you have grown a garden in sand? Really? I didn't think that was possible, but you just ruined my presentation. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Usually you would use a soil called humus soil, don't eat it, it's not hummus, it is humus. Dead materials help things grow. Don't ask why. I have a passion for gardening, but I don't know the answer to that question. So let's keep going. Grids, that's part of the box. More box. Weeds are bad. We all know that.
Grow up, not out.
Right, right. And honestly, don't forget to water your garden. I have made this mistake this year, and I was thinking that maybe this presentation would make me more passionate again about gardening so that I do not forget to water my garden next year.
Yep, so you can see, like as we conclude here, there are very beautiful gardens that you can grow as long as you keep them in proper box sizes, water them frequently, make sure that the spacing is appropriate, and document your process, share it with others, because that's truly what it's about. We wouldn't have learned if it wasn't for Mel.
No, Mel's passion. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Now that's comedy. All right, let's do it. We'll get our fourth up here, and then we can vote. All right, microphone, clicker.
Fantastic.
Let me find something that will dazzle your crowd. Yeah, here we go.
Good?
Not yet.
Okay.
All right, you're off and running.
I'm Rob Patton, a teacher at Tri-County High School in Howard City, Michigan, and today what I wanted to do was talk a little bit about my family. And, well, you have to go back a few generations because I have a family that has always had an interest in rocks, and I always think of my great-great-great-grandmother and how she had this collection of rocks that she kept very close to herself. And we heard stories about how these became an obsession. And this was something that was passed down for years and years. And in fact, I'm a little obsessed about rocks myself, and that's why I would like to talk a little bit about rocks with you here today. So what are rocks? Well, they're hard. They don't talk much. You can hold them close to you. And, you know, if you really look at them, they have a lot of characteristics that make you really think like, man, if you look at that, you can almost see yourself in that rock. So, are all rocks the same? Well, absolutely not. We're all different. Rocks are different. You have black rocks, you have white rocks, you have strangely colored rocks with little specks in them, and we always picked on those kind of people in school. But, you know, for the most part, rocks are all pretty. And so there are many different kinds of rocks. Of course, you can see, you know, you have those rocks. And, you know, you have some other ones that you'll probably encounter on one of our many field trips we'll take later. Where do rocks come from? Well, there's a long cycle of rocks, and it actually reminds me of my great-great-great-grandmother. As the story goes, she pretty much rose from the earth, and she was one of the first women who really had, I guess, this influence on a lot of the people in the town that she grew up in. And, you know, rocks kind of got their start like that. You know, they're these interactive, we have this rock cycle. It's almost like the circle of life. And when I think of my great-great-great-grandmother, well, she was kind of like that. She rose from the earth, she led a great life, and then she's now living with the rocks. So, what is the rock cycle? Well, let's see. Part one, okay? Well, there's really no beginning and end to the rock cycle. It's just something that, as you can see, you know, we see smoke in the air in this picture here, and it's really, all I can think of to say about this is that rocks are just kind of there, like the smoke in the air that's around us. This is really hard. Moving on, let's see. Rocks can be shiny. They can have lots of pits in them. They can be very porous. And you know those rocks that are so crystalline, those pretty shiny rocks, like my great-great-grandmother. She was this, you know, this diamond in the rough, this beautiful woman. I wish I would have actually known her. heard many great stories. The rock cycle, part 2. We see this, of course, this giant picture of this rock here, and it actually looks a lot like pictures that I've seen of my great-great-great-grandmother. You know, large on the bottom, small head on top. But, you know, this is what makes rocks so amazing. I mean, they do remind us of people. There's something that, that we need to think a lot about, because that's kind of where we all come from. We're all like rocks. Thank goodness. All right, sedimentary rocks. These rocks are also very interesting and uniquely shaped. And the nice thing is, if you pick out some of these rocks, you might find some coins underneath them. So always bring your little metal detector wherever you go. Let's see, other things, you know, you can see here. This is all about, you know, how our Earth is made and things like that. Moving on, we have pretty striped rocks, which look a lot like the quilts that my great-great-grandmother used to make. And then, of course, we move on to this, a video. A video that I really think sums up my thoughts and feelings on rocks. It's a song. Unfortunately, there is no music or lyrics, so I think I have to sing it to you. Rocks are beautiful. I have always loved them. So when you go home and you talk to your great-great-great-grandmother who is buried in your backyard, just remember, we love you and we'll always love our rocks. Thank you.
That was awesome. That was awesome. Okay. Good job. By the way, there's some very lucky students in the world. You guys are really good. All right, so now comes the hard part of our competition, which is where we have to figure out who reigns supreme here. So I guess we'll just use the audience applause-o-meter. So let's go for Kim. Kim, applause. Come on, go. Okay. And Mark? And our gardening duo? Whoa. And Rob and his obsession with rocks. I think it's pretty clear. Ladies, extemporaneously, you stepped up and kicked some butt. So congratulations. There will be free beer for you at the tent. Hey, thanks for coming by and playing. Obviously, it's fun with a large group. But you know what? On the serious side, I think it's one of the best skills for anybody having to learn how to speak on their feet. And you guys all did it flawlessly. It was awesome. So congrats.